Well, my name is Jim Thompson. I'm a volunteer here at St David's Hospice. I'm also a trustee. I am chairman of the Board of Trustees. And my background is I'm a registered nurse by background, and I became a nurse tutor for nurses within the Royal Gwent Hospital. And it was in the late 1970s, 1979 in fact. And one of my colleagues was Hywyn Edgerton, who was the founder of St David's Foundation. And because I had groups of students and involved with students, we used to do fundraising for funding St David's Foundation back in 1979. And then in year 2002, I was approached and asked, would I become a trustee of St David's? And I said, yes, obviously. So I became a trustee. And then 3 years ago, I became chairman of the board. So it's been a long journey. So it's been fundraising, trustee, chairman. I love working in here, the café, because I meet relatives and patients and can chat to them. And they know I am because my picture's in certain documents around the place. So they know that I'm the chairman, but that's by the by, really. It's about the role of St David's Hospice in regard to hospice at home. We are the largest provider in Wales of hospice at home. 27% of all end-of-life hospice care is delivered by St David's in Wales, so that keeps me going. There's always something on the agenda. We're always fundraising. We have a brilliant fundraising team. They're fantastic. And they organise all sorts of things, and you try your best as a chairman to pop in and see some of the activities. You can't always make everything, but you try. So we've got the fundraising, and I love getting involved in that. So I volunteer for them, volunteered as a steward this month at the Colour Dash in Cwmbran. 1,500 people ran the Colour Dash, and that was fantastic to see them so happy, but raising money for the hospice. It costs us £9.5 million to run the hospice and our services at this present time, and about £3.5 million comes from Welsh Assembly Government and the health boards. The rest is via donations and fundraising and things like that. So there's always something on the agenda to keep us going, to look at about what we need to do. Then we've got our children's service, meeting the children who go to the unicorn service. So that's an interesting one because we offer a whole service to a whole age continuum, not just to elderly or the dying. It could be a sibling has died and they need support. We will give them that. Our day hospice here runs. We've got one in Ystrad Mynach, in Ystrad Fawr. So that's really good. And we have 15 to 20 patients here every day coming for entertainment, socializing, a meal. And it becomes a community in its own right. And that's about supporting people, but giving families time for respite as well. So it's about working through. And there's the challenge of a hospice in regard to, we are a charity. We are not the NHS. So we have to fundraise. So we've got 38 shops. So 38 shops is our retail division. So we look for donations. We look about how we can promote new goods, as you can see behind me there. So that's all about raising money for our services. I oversee that the management team, the executives, and we've only got 3 basically. What support they need. I'm like the guy who asks the silly questions sometimes. Why are we doing that, or why are we doing this? It's about giving my fellow trustees guidance in regard to that. We've got the assurance that the governance processes of St David's Hospice are being followed, that we are financially viable, that our investments are sound, and they are based on the latest information to make sure they're ethical. And that's always a big one. It's about our relationship and knowing where we are with the inspectorates that come into the hospice, because we're clinical and domiciliary. So we have 2 types of regulatory inspections. So it's looking at what we do with that. It's looking at problem solving sometimes with the executives, looking at options. What are we going to do next? How are we going to do that? What developments we need? So as you came in, I don't know if you saw, but we're in the near ending the new memorial garden, which is up on the side, water features, quiet place for people to sit. So it's quite interesting, really. And then our inpatient unit, 15 beds, very important in end-of-life care, to know that relatives and patients know there is a safe place for them to come if they want that choice. They can stay at home if they want, or they can come in, because if they stay at home, that's where our hospice at home service runs. It's then making sure that we offer the support across the spectrum of care. So we've got unicorn service for the children. We've got day hospice for those who want to have a respite. We've got welfare rights, so they can get the family support team, social workers. We employ our own staff to make sure our patients get the very best support they can during their journey. It's been involved in the development of a palliative care service, end-of-life service in Wales, which is probably second to none. That we strive at every stage to make sure that we deliver the best quality in the best environment at the appropriate time, and that patients and families know we're here and can come and talk to us, and we'll guide them through their journey, whether it results in their loved one passing away, or whether it results in their clinical status stabilizing for a while, and perhaps they're sent home. So I think it's about just understanding that we're here as an organization and that we're accessible. And I think that's the biggest thing, that people understand that, and is communicating that message out. And I think our biggest challenge, is, as I said earlier, getting people to understand we are a charity, and we're dependent on volunteers, and we have got hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers who support our cause here at St David's. We have our own HR department, so you come to us directly, get them to fill in the form, talk through what kind of volunteering they would like to do, because you could volunteer in the day hospice to support the patients who visit daily. You could volunteer in our shops, perhaps to sort donations, to clean donations, to iron donations, or to be at the front of house in the retail shops, to be a shop assistant, as it were. So that could be a role. The CAF, I'm a volunteer here in the CAF. I do a Monday. There's other volunteers who do weekends, Thursdays, and they've been here for a long time as well. But we're a family. And then as chairman, knowing that we're volunteers and I'm a volunteer, it's about how we say thanks to our volunteers, because it's not just about taking, it's giving. So we have a thank you event for volunteers, usually at a local hotel, and whether it's a high tea or what, but it's saying thank you to them. And thank you to our staff. So we run staff recognition awards, where members of staff nominate their colleagues to be receive a staff award, and we do that a couple of times a year, so that's good. So it's about making sure people feel valued and wanted. But volunteers, just apply, ring up, and you'll get a form online, and then we take it from there once we know where you want to volunteer.